Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome. This is the first ever edition of Kayfabe Uncut. I'm your host, Jay Smith. Today in this video, we're going to talk about the predictions for Elimination Chamber this weekend. We're going to go over the match listings and who we think, or who I think, will come out victorious. So let's start with. We'll start with some of the lesser matches and work our way up. We'll start with Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Sounds like a pretty decent, probably a good opener. I think Nia Jax and Candice LeRae I could see going over. But I could also see it being a wild card because of the fact that Trish Stratus is also involved in the match. This one, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I can see this match going either way. But I'm gonna pick Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Or the other alternate option is that Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton win because Nia Jax and Candice LeRae cannot get along. That could be a very good outcome as far as that goes. Then we're gonna go to our next match. The unsanctioned match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't feel like there's going to be a definite. I see Kevin Owens potentially winning this match, but in a way that it's not a blow off. It's going to be Kevin Owens probably beating the crap out of Sami Zayn to add more heat to their match at WrestleMania. Because clearly they're not going to just blow this match off at Elimination Chamber. And it's interesting because, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they're two guys who've had so many matches together. They've tagged up multiple times, but they just have such good chemistry that they continuously have these great matches and these bangers. I've seen them feud probably 3 or 4 times now in the last 10 to 15 years, and it's still not old to me. Plus, I just love the heel work right now that Kevin Owens is doing. So I'm going to go in this match, unsanctioned match. I'm going to say Kevin Owens is so brutal and cruel in this match that it leads to, Kevin Owens getting the victory, setting up their future match at WrestleMania. We also have the Women's Elimination Chamber match, which features Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair versus Bayley versus Naomi versus Roxanne Perez versus Liv Morgan. This looks like a pretty good match for the women. Obviously, there's going to be some length to this match. And with the list that I see here, I'm going to be honest. As far as the winner is concerned, I have it down to 3. I don't believe it'll be Bianca Belair or Naomi because they're primarily tag wrestlers and because I think that Jade Cargill's storyline is still kind of lingering in the back. So I would say that the winner of this match, it's a tie-up between Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, or Bayley. Bayley is also... you can't count Bayley out. She's also very good, very over. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's gonna be Liv Morgan, just because her storyline with Rhea Ripley, it still has a lot of life left to it. So I could see the match being Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania, which I think would be a very good. There's so much history, so much heat to that storyline. Obviously, I could see Dominic Mysterio being involved in that match later down the road. And I think it'll be a good showcase for the women. I think there'll be lots of good spots. Somehow my gut tells me there may be some type of interaction, possibly. We might see Jade Cargill make an appearance tomorrow. And that could easily plant seeds for a future feud with Bianca Belair or Naomi because there's still the looming question, who attacked Jade Cargill? Now, before we get to the main event, I want to bring up the one storyline that's got everybody talking, and it's The Rock seeking his answer from the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes. Oh boy. Now there's already a lot of theories floating all over the internet right now about as far as what is Cody Rhodes gonna do, what is The Rock's true intentions in all of this. And I'm gonna be honest. I think that The Rock is either there's a couple ways this could go. I think Cody could say no initially to swerve us later. Because what this is really boiling down to is it's going to be a future match. Either Cody Rhodes is going to face The Rock, or Cody Rhodes is going to face Roman Reigns, and they're going to switch it to where Cody Rhodes will swerve us and turn heel, and Roman Reigns will be the babyface. And this is kind of going to be like The Rock playing the new Vince McMahon, and he's going to start his own corporation. I said back when The Rock came back and debuted the Final Boss character, I said The Rock has become like the new Vince McMahon in the sense that we can't use Vince McMahon anymore. But now when you make The Rock this Final Boss character, it gives him, the instant heat. And what I also like about it is The Rock is also he can wrestle, so you can have matches now, and you can also have him with the storyline of him abusing his power, which I could see that storyline happening very soon because what I think this is all going to boil down to, and I've said from the very beginning, was when Solo Sikoa took over the bloodline, this was all The Rock pulling the strings against Roman Reigns. And I believe that the storyline will be rooted in The Rock being jealous. Think about it, his movies weren't doing so well, so he goes back into wrestling to cash in on wrestling, and when he comes back, who's the biggest star going? It's his cousin. It's Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is at the height of his career. Meanwhile, The Rock's Hollywood career at the time was fledging. Um, so I think that could be a really good. I think there'd be a very good promo exchange. I think Cody's going to try to play the whole babyface. Oh, I'll never give my soul to you, only for him to turn heel later. And I think that would be great. I think that one thing about Cody Rhodes, we were robbed of a heel turn in AEW. I kind of just wished he would have turned heel, and he refused to. I think that's part of the reason why the AEW fan base was so hard on him. They wanted Cody to be the bad guy, but he wanted to be the white meat baby face so bad. We've gotten a couple years of that now, so honestly, I'm not against the Cody Rhodes heel turn. I think there's a lot of interesting storylines you could play, and I think ultimately when you turn him face after this, if he does turn heel in the future, once he turns face again, he'll be even bigger because he'll have to fight to regain his morality and his sense of autonomy. So, with that being said, let's go to the main event of tomorrow's premium live event, which is the men's elimination chamber match. We've got John Cena versus CM Punk versus Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre versus Logan Paul. Boy, that is a um, very interesting match. Looks like we're gonna have a lot going on with that. I see the biggest storyline of this is gonna be in this match. The biggest storyline, obviously, is CM Punk and Seth Rollins. We didn't really get much of a CM Punk Seth Rollins feud last year because the main program was CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. We've kind of been there, done that now. That's kind of blown off. So I think that the most intense and the most dramatic moments in this match will be between CM Punk and Damian Priest. Excuse me, CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Excuse me. I could definitely see some issues between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre in this match. Because remember last year's WrestleMania, it was Damian Priest who cashed in his Money in the Bank contract on Drew McIntyre after CM Punk, attacked him after he defended his title against Seth Rollins. Or excuse me, won the title, the world title from Seth Rollins. So there is some back history between four of the six competitors in this match, which I think will make for some great interactions. There'll be some great storytelling, and there'll be some good psychology to the match. Um, John Cena and Logan Paul, I could see a storyline, that I could see some good interactions with them based on the fact that they both have Hollywood presence. They both have presence outside of the WWE. I think a match between them two at WrestleMania could have, um, could get a lot of publicity. I think John Cena and Logan Paul could be a big business, big attraction. Not the main event, obviously, but a nice attraction. My only problem is that John Cena in this multi-man match, you know, he can hide a little bit of his weaknesses because let's be honest, you know, I got all the respect in the world for John Cena, especially the fact that he proved himself even when fans despised him, fans were hard on him. But we got to be honest, we saw John Cena at the Royal Rumble. He is not the man he used to be as far as in-ring competition goes. Um, so in this multi-match, he can hide some of those flaws a little bit better. I'm a little concerned about a potential singles match between John Cena and Logan Paul at WrestleMania. But, you know, we haven't been there yet, so we'll see how things play out. But overall, I think the winner of this match, as far as who's gonna win this match, ah, I'm, I think I'm gonna give, I think I'm gonna give the winner of this match. I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre. Eh, Uh, you know what? I'm gonna go back. I'm backtracking on that. I'm gonna go with CM Punk, and the reason why I could see a very interesting story playing out. Potentially, CM Punk maybe could go and face Cody Rhodes. I don't know. It's a little bit of it's a little all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. This this is definitely one of the hardest predictions I've ever had to do for a main event in quite some time because usually a lot of WWE pay-per-view PLEs in the last several years have been very predictable, and that's not always a bad thing. But I'm not gonna lie, the men's elimination chamber, the main event is actually the hardest match to predict for me because I could see multiple scenarios playing out, but I don't see John Cena winning the world title at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, you know. Could he win it later on in the year? Maybe he could win to tie up or break Ric Flair's record, but I don't see that happening at Mania. CM Punk, I kind of see him getting. He's got a thing going with Seth Rollins, so that's kind of unpredictable. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, they've got a history and a storyline that's pretty much hot and ready in the oven and ready to go. Um, Logan Paul, I see his feud with John Cena, so I really am not sure who is going to win this match. I got to be honest with you guys. And that is very interesting. However, I could also see another avenue with this. I could see a triple threat emerging between Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins for a couple of reasons. Number one, Roman Reigns and CM Punk both have issues with Seth Rollins. Number two, Roman Reigns and CM Punk both have history with Paul Heyman. There is a huge wild card in this whole situation, and I'm gonna be honest, Paul Heyman is a big part of that wild card because Paul Heyman is known to turn on his clients. Whenever another client becomes the next big thing, he is known to stab his clients in the back. And he's done it to CM Punk. He's done it to Brock Lesnar. He's done it to Kurt Angle. He's done it to The Big Show. He's done this time and time again, and we've seen this. Um, he's been loyal to Roman Reigns for several years, but I could honestly see a heel turn from Paul Heyman. Interesting. As I was in the middle of recording this, went to go doing some digging on Ringside News. Apparently, there is a news story that has broken today. Drew McIntyre's knee condition revealed ahead of Elimination Chamber. Drew McIntyre isn't letting anything slow him down, not even a swollen knee that needed medical attention just hours before WWE SmackDown on February 24th. Okay, this article is also brought to you by Steve Carrier. Uh, again from Ringside News. But according to Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer Radio, McIntyre has a knee issue. It's nothing major, although it was swollen and needed it drained before the SmackDown show on 2/21, but right now it's nothing that will keep him out of action. McIntyre himself previously addressed the situation, revealing he couldn't fully bend his knee and had to take action to make sure he could compete at full capacity. Despite his doctor's hesitation, the Scottish Warrior pushed through and got the fluid drained, ensuring he was ready to go. I told the doctor, listen, let's get this fluid out. He wasn't exactly over the moon about it, but medically it was safe, or we wouldn't have done it in the first place, McIntyre said. True to form, McIntyre didn't let the issue stop him, stepping into the ring that night and taking down Jimmy Uso without hesitation. Now heading into Elimination Chamber, he's focused on one thing, winning. With John Cena, CM Punk, Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, and Logan Paul standing in his way, McIntyre knows that this will be one of the biggest fights of his career. But if history has shown anything, it's that the Scottish Warrior doesn't back down. Do you think McIntyre's knee will hold up inside the chamber, or could it cost him the win? So that was the article, according to Ringside News, also according to Wrestling Observer Radio. I do believe that this is going to play into how this match goes. Definitely would play into the match outcome. I definitely could see a scenario where, McIntyre comes up short. This leads to further aggression. And I think this could also put fuel to a potential story he has with Damian Priest. So, with that being said, this year's Elimination Chamber looks to be more unpredictable. I'll say this, since the start of the year, Royal Rumble, Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. They're doing things that are different. Is it what everybody expected and maybe was hoping for? Maybe not, but he's giving new people a chance because for about a year and a half we complained Jey Uso wasn't getting, they weren't capitalizing off of his popularity. Now they're finally trying to do something different. So while it may not be what we're used to, let's give this a try. Let's try to go into this optimistic. I know a lot of things are going on right now. And I'll be back with some more news stories later today. Again, thank you for joining me today on Kayfabe Uncut. Take care. Hey, if you like this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Have a good one, y'all.